was that the city's contribution to the wave uh, net of any inflows from the federal government was in the neighborhood of millions of dollars. Um, about 8 years or so ago, Councilman Manzi and Councilman Richardson and I took a road trip, and we stopped in Montgomery and met with the public transportation officials there, and we went to Huntsville and met with those folks, and we met with Birmingham. Birmingham's operation is kind of different because it's a it's a different operation than ours. Our operation is more akin to the way the Huntsville and Montgomery systems work. And this didn't really answer your question, but we ascertained that the city of Mobile was spending significantly more per capita than either Montgomery or Huntsville were on public transportation, and a lot of that had to do with the service we provide. I can't remember what it's called, but the service we provide to people who are have disabilities.
Right. I guess the question was, I just wanted to know how much our annual loss is. You know, I know that we subsidize the transit system, so I guess we'll get that somewhere around budget time.
Yeah, I can get you the numbers on kind of what the projection would be for the year.
Right, and that's not something uncommon. Just so that the general public knows, is that 99% of metro transit systems lose money across the United States. Those numbers are based on ridership and participation and fair share contributions from surrounding municipalities. When I heard $4 million, I just, for some reason, I thought that's where we were at this point in time. But I'm
Yeah,
guessing
that's really that's a timing thing, right? Year to date, we're still
we'll
running
look at it
ahead.
around budget time. No.
Another question or comments from the council? All right, thank you.
Adoption of the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moving second, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Agenda is adopted.
Appeals, we have requests for waivers of the noise ordinance at the 2400 block of Creek Circle Drive and Redmond Street on July 6th from 5 p.m. until 9 p.m. At 1015 Houston Street on July 4th from 2 p.m. until 8 p.m. At 1831 Riverside Drive on July 13th from 2 p.m. until 10 p.m. And at 82 Burtonwood Drive, July 4th through 6th from 2 p.m. until 10 p.m.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moving second, any discussion?
Mr. President,
Vice President?
I'd like to move the Burtonwood to 9 o'clock rather than 10.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Item passes.
Mr. President, before you move on, I'm getting all kinds of notes up here about the sound system not working and people not being able to hear us.
It's working now.
Okay.
Public hearings. Today is the public hearing to declare the structures at 112 Bush Avenue, 1253 Seneca Street, and 4850 Dan Williams Road public nuisances and order them demolished.
This open up the public hearing for these particular said items. If anyone present that would like to address the council, if so, you may come down to the podium by stating your name.
Good morning, council members. My name is Blake Kruth. I am counsel for SFN Holdings, who is the mortgage holder for 112 Bush Avenue. We are currently in the process of having insurance inspect and determine a claim for that property. We understand it has fire damage and a significant level of fire damage. We would just ask for 60-day extension so they can complete that process and see how much that claim will be so we can repair or demolish that building.
Mr. Carroll?
I'm fine with that. Have you issued a schedule to David's department, David Dockenbaugh, in the Department of the City that sent the notice to you about nuisance?
They've been in communication. I don't know where they are in that process. I think we're waiting for word back from American Zurich, which is the insurance company that holds the policy for the property. But we'll file anything that's required.
Okay, thanks. I don't have a problem with it.
Thank you.
All right. Is anyone else present that would like to address the council on these particular said items? If not, this public hearing is closed.
Public hearing to assent to the vacation of a portion of a service road and city right-of-way located at Knollwood Drive and Medical Park Drive.
This open up the public hearing for this particular said item. Is anyone present that would like to address the council? If so, you may come down to the podium by stating your name. Is anyone present? If not, this public hearing is closed.
Presentation of petitions and other communications to the council. Gwendolyn Petaway.
Mrs. Petaway.
Lisa Taggart.
Turn your mic on.
That work?
Yes.
Hey guys, again. I was here about 6 weeks ago. My name is Lisa Taggart. I'm the executive director and creator of Door to Serenity, a sober living community here in Mobile that does a whole lot of things other than house people. The city of Mobile has received $2 million in the opioid abatement fund. And I asked, how do we go about applying for it? And several questions on that day 6 weeks ago. The distribution has already been made, $200,000 to the Vets Recovered and $10,000 to, and that's per the accountant, to the Drug Education Council. All that money has been sitting in an account since 2021, and it is just sitting there while the citizens of Mobile die. And so I'm very, very concerned that legal turned around and said that they were going to get me a copy of the settlement, so that in the settlement, legal said that they had to follow the settlement on how to disperse funds. Well, can we have a copy and make it public? There's been no response. Since that time, I have personally trained over 200 people on how to use Narcan so that we could reverse an overdose. My Narcan has got to come from Jefferson County Health Department because Mobile County doesn't have it available. These opioid abatement funds can be used for that so that we could save our own citizens' lives. Today, I had to tell we have a recovery ecosystem here in Mobile. Vets Recovery is part of that. One of my people get to go there today to be the first person, to be the first client there. And that is really, really exciting. But today I had to tell that Alta Point Crisis Center, I have no beds available. I'm sorry that somebody went through detox for 5 days. I'm sorry that somebody wants to recover. There's no bed available for him in the city of Mobile. So where does he go? He goes back into the drug-induced environment, and he has a good chance of not making it. The citizens of Mobile deserve better. We need to release the information that's already there in the legal documents of how we spend this money. Jefferson County has it on their website. You want to apply for these funds? These are the rules, and here they are. Why is this money just sitting there and our citizens dying? Why can't me as a citizen get Narcan here in Mobile? I have to wait for Jefferson County Health Department to ship it to me, which will take 4 to 6 weeks, and then make an appointment and fill out this form. Why can't I go to Mobile County Health Department and get Narcan in the same way? I have distributed Narcan. We have reversed overdoses, but you know that I personally know 3 people who have died of this disease in the last 6
Ms. Taggart,
weeks.
yeah, thank you so much for bringing that to our attention. I'm gonna ask that Director Lasky, if you can just answer, the questions as far as especially the funding.
I don't have the answers with me, but I will get with her and I will make sure she gets them this week. I'll find out where it is in legal and get her, and make sure she gets the application, get the information. I'll take that on personally.
You said you will get in contact with her this week?
Yes.
Okay. He will get in contact with you this week, he say.
Okay, can I
Okay.
say my phone number?
Just pass it to him.
Okay,
Just pass it to him. Thank you.
thank you.
Madam Clerk,
Mr. President,
Mr. Penn.
thank you, Mr. President, and thank you so much for coming down. I think too, I'm glad you're getting the information and passing it on, but I think going forward, hearing what she's saying, if we have this amount of money, we should also let the public know, not just herself, what's the process of applying for these funds, if they are available. So I'm just requesting to the administration, when you get that information, that we also share it to the public and let them know how to apply for these funds, so we can move forward as a city if the money is sitting there. I'm not sure have those funds been allocated already, but if they haven't, then let's share that information with the public as well. Thank you, Mr. President.
Mr. President,
Mr. Carroll.
I thought that at pre-council this morning, it was stated that we were within reach of developing a program to announce to the public, and that would be coming forth soon. The city attorney announced 6 weeks ago that they would start or research or put together a program to give to the public so that the public could respond or request those funds. If that's not the case, if I misheard that this morning, then would you please reiterate to the public what was stated?
Legal's been working on it, and I was told they were close. I will follow up with them, but I also make sure I will follow up with Ms. Taggart as well, and let's see where we are, and let's get it out.
So legal's been working on a request process or request for proposal process is what legal's working on.
Correct.
Okay. Just wanted that to be clear.
Madam Clerk.
Felicia Johnson,
Hello, good morning. My name is Felicia Johnson, and I am here today to ask the council if they will help me save one of nature's greenest products, and that is a tree. At 251 Government Street, in front of, which is the Admiral Hotel's address, in front of its parking lot, there is a tree that faces in the direction of the city parking lot that has a chain, a rusted chain that is padlocked to it. I have spoken to Eddie's Tree Service, an expert. He confirmed my research that this chain will cause harm to the tree, creating an infection, and also the risk that the chain will grow into the tree. So we would like to just have this chain removed and save this tree. I hope that the city will be willing to compensate Eddie's Tree Service to save our tree. Thank you.
Vice President.
Yes, sir. Thank you for bringing this to our attention. As you were speaking, I looked over at Mark Vasello, who is the director of our Public Works Department. And I believe, Mark, you were saying, yeah, we need to look at it. I was just reading your body language. Yeah. Yeah, they'll go take a look at it, and instead of the company that you've talked to, we need to let our urban forestry folks handle that.
Yes, ma'am.
And then that way it won't cost you or anything. So appreciate you letting us know about that.
Thank you. It is an eyesore. Thank you.
Mr. President,
Mr. Reynolds.
we are directly across the street from this location. I bet that we could resolve this quite quickly if you
Some bolt cutters.
folks just walk right out that door and just go say, this chain, this tree, probably be resolved, in a matter of minutes. Thank you.
I think you're probably right there, Mr. Reynolds.
Excuse me, Mr. President, but then we're going to get into the battle of is it our tree or is it their tree? Is it in the city right away or is it in private property? We know how things work around here sometimes when it comes to the, trees and these chains. But it's obvious. I just saw a picture of the tree. I couldn't tell if it was a oak tree, heritage oak, or if it was 8 inches of diameter or not, or if it even fit the criteria that Peter's going to be looking at as far as removal. Anytime there's a chain on a tree, though, however, that is extremely disheartening, especially if the tree continues to grow and it grows into the tree, no matter if it's a cotton, if it's water oak or anything else. But I would hope that we can do something about it. It's just outside at the corner. If you want to walk out there and take a look at it.
Madam Clerk.
Kalinsky Adams,
Kalinsky Adams, 1111 East I-65 Service Road, Mobile, Alabama, 36606. Good morning. Good morning. How everybody doing? City Council, Mayor, and everybody that's in the chamber. We are getting ready for an exciting summer. I am Kalinsky Adams, the Executive Director of Opportunity for Entertainers. We have several programs that we do in the city of Mobile. Opportunities Day, MOB Music Fest, Broadcast University, Alabama Hip Hop Radio, and the OG Mentoring Program. Our programs have been around for a while. Alabama Hip Hop Week is 17 years. MOB Music Fest is at its 7th year, and it's happening July 12th through 14th for July Art Walk. I want to brag about MOB Music Fest a little bit. MOB Music Fest is probably the longest standing music festival in the city of Mobile at this point, in downtown Mobile, with it being the 7th year. And it's all about community. It's a free festival, a 3-day festival, and it's all about bringing everybody together with all genres of music. This year we have 3 locations. We'll be at Cathedral Square, we'll be at the Temple, and we'll be at the ACA, which is the museum right across from Cathedral Square. The most important thing, I want to make sure that I let people know that they are all welcome to come. And I want people to get involved because performing arts is a really big deal in the city of Mobile. Though we're trying to build the support of what performing arts looks like, when we do events like MOB Music Fest and Alabama Hip Hop Week, it's all about organizing those artists and the community members that live within these communities to let them know that we have entertainment and fun. With MOB Music Fest, I also want to just make a clear statement to let people know that this is all about us. This is who we are. And as we get into Hip Hop Week, we go to all the community centers. And the first community center we'll be stopping at will be Lawn Park. And that'll be July 15th. On July 16th, we'll be going to Lawn Park. On July 17th, we'll be going to Hillsdale Park. This is our 17th year going to Hillsdale Park. And then we'll be making our way to Figures Park on July 18th. And on July 19th, we'll be going to Taylor Park. We have different themes at all these recreation centers. And I want to put a spotlight on Taylor Park because Taylor Park, all the community members that grew up in that community are coming back because they want to pour back into that community. And we're looking forward to that. Also, the same thing with Figures Park. We teamed up with community members out there to make sure that those community members support their youth. So we're doing a youth talent show to spotlight those youth in those communities across the city. That's my time.
I gave one council member to stay here 1 more minute.
Okay. Okay. And when we go to Hillsdale, we go and have a conversation with kids. And then we hit Lawn Park. We kick it off with the whole Alabama Hip Hop Week. I just wanted to get everybody excited about it because we are here. We're here to stay. The more I think about what we're doing downtown and building that MOB Music Fest, I think about 3 years from now. 3 years from now, we'll have a new airport, we'll have a new civic center, arena, and we'll have a River Walk, and we'll have the 10th annual MOB Music Fest. I'm looking forward to that, and as we build this community. Behind me, my program director and my public relations director will come speak, and they'll give you more details. But I thank you for your time, and let's get ready for the 7th annual MOB Music Fest and the 17th annual Alabama Hip Hop Week. Thank you.
Yeah, I'd like to say congratulations to you in all your endeavors and your success in the past previous years, and continue to do the good work in the community. Any questions coming from the council?
Mr. President?
From Mr. Penn?
Yeah, I want to join in. Thank you, Mr. Adams, for coming down and sharing. I've been to multiple year events with the organization, and it's just amazing. A lot of people understand the importance of Alabama Hip Hop Week. For me, hip hop changed my life. You know, listening to Tupac, I remember his statement that I might not change the world, but I guarantee I'll spark the mind that will. Yeah. And for me, hearing those stories, Dear Mama, you know, keep your head up. These are things that all inspire me to actually run for office because we saw the things that are taking place. He spoke in poetry about what was going on in our community and in our city. And to me, he sparked that mind to say, look, what you going to do about it? We need people in every arena reaching out. And that's what you're doing. Yeah. It's bigger than just entertainment, but it's a part of changing the culture and environment. So thank you so much for you and your team and the service. And of course, I'll definitely be there at Figures. I love District 1. And whatever you need from me, I'm going to support.
Thank you.
Any questions coming from the council? Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Nina Dortch.
Hello, my name is Nina Dortch, and I'm the Public Relations Director for Opportunity for Entertainers and Performing Arts. My address is 1111 Southeast Service Road, I-65 Service Road. I don't remember that address, 36606. So I wanted to kind of highlight something about the MOB Music Festival that I'm very proud of. I've been in human resources for over 2 decades, I'll just say that. And so this year I was inspired to add a portion to the festival, and it's a 20-minute panel discussion, and it's exclusively sponsored by AM&S Calvert. So this discussion is going to have topics covering our community, education, workforce, culture, and health, DEIB, diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging, unity, and we're going to be talking about connecting age, race, religion, and communities. And some of our panelists are going to be like Miss Latrina Franklin. She's a PA with Urology and Associates of Mobile. Derek Turner, who's the director of Mobile Alabama Career Center. Dr. Reginald Crenshaw, Mobile County Board of Commissioner, District 3. Cedric Graves, he's the Workforce Talent Development Leader for AM&S Calvert. Sierra Bessler, she's the Serious Talent VP of Strategic Growth and Partnership. Miss Alabama 2023, Bria Burrell. And those are just a few of the panelists, but I'm excited about it because it gives us a chance to be able to talk about some topics that are very important to us in our community. So we get a chance to express that, so I'm very excited about that moment. So I just wanted to highlight that. But I also wanted to talk to you all about some of the things that we started to do, such as utilizing our tools and resources. We've been very involved in the chamber, participating in all of those activities and events, making sure that we highlight and engage some of the activities that we've been doing in the city. We've also done some leadership development things, Kalinsky's and Leadership Mobile. They both, Rodsky and Kalinsky, have attended Learning Leading University with Mobile County Public School Systems. We've had some recognitions and awards. Miss Juneteenth pageant celebration, we were awarded a scholarship donation for that. We've been able to apply for some recent grants. We've enhanced our presence in the community, and we've been more engaging on social media as we have in the past. So we've just done some other things as well as collaborate with other nonprofit organizations, such as the Juneteenth celebration. We were a part sponsor in the Kids Corner for that. Breakthrough Team Partnership with One Loud Block Party. And we're just improving and working towards our long-term strategic plans. So I'm happy to say that these are some of the things that we've been able to progress over the last 2 years in. Another thing that I want to spotlight as my time is ending is one of my favorite programs with us, and it's Opportunity State School Tour. It's my favorite because I'm in human resources. So for us, was it 3 minutes? Okay. I'm sorry.
And then can you tell us about the Opportunities Days tour? Can you explain that to me for me?
Yes, it's a college and career fair on 10 because we also add resources to that, and we have 2 of the hottest DJs that come out. And so when you talk about the kids getting to understand what they can do after high school, as far as going to school, getting educated, continuing their education, where they can work at in our city. You know how many kids told us they didn't know what Ingalls was? You know, and so really putting a spotlight on some of those workforce entities in our area so that our kids understand what they can do for the future, and that's important. So we've been able to highlight those things. So thank you so much for your time. I'll continue to send you all of our updates about all of our programs via email, and I'm always available to chat.
Thank you for your excitement.
Thank you.
Ms. Gregory.
Ms. Storch, thank you so much. Your enthusiasm is just, I can tell, it's contagious. Thank you for what you all are doing. Of course, Dan and all of your team, appreciate what you have done and how you have grown, and the partnerships that you have put together, and the collaboration is really, really terrific. We've watched you all grow this way, and are really proud to see what you have done and what you're doing in our community. So thank you, and keep up the good work. And I really like hearing all of the things that you were doing. We're very impressed. So we look forward to seeing all of the events this year.
Thank you so much. You all have a good one.
Rodney Toomer.
Good morning, Rodney Toomer, 1155 Service Road. I'm a DJ on the radio, so I know how fast these 3 minutes gonna go. My thing is this morning is to say thank you for giving us the opportunity, the mayor, the city council people, and all the members of this establishment. Really quick, I want to tell you about the whys. The whys of we have a ribbon cutting ceremony coming up tomorrow for performing arts opportunities for entertainers, which I'm the program director for. This is as an economic impact for this is going to be, this event signifies the new partnership and establishment of our organization in Mobile, which will contribute to the local economy and attract visitors. Broadcast University, which I'm getting ready to go back to work right now. We got a summer camp at Taylor Park. I've been in radio for over 35 years. Yeah, I'm old, but it teaches young people about radio. We teach young people about public speaking. We teach young people how to articulate your thoughts. And I have about 35 teenagers in my class right now. So you can just imagine how that is in the summer. But we teach them different things. We go on field trips. We go into the Justice Initiative in Montgomery and stuff like that. Also, Mod Fest, 7 years. It's a staple in our community. The tourism and the economic boost. This free music festival attracts up to 5,000 attendees. It provides significant boost to the local business, hotel, and restaurant. The cultural diversity in this is featured in a wide range of musical genres. The festival celebrates cultural diversity and promotes Mobile as a vibrant and inclusive city. Other thing is Alabama Hip Hop Community Tour. That week is just outstanding. We go to different parks. We engage. This week-long series of events addresses critical and social issues such as gun violence, mental health, and financial literacy, which we teach financial credit literacy. Last thing is Opportunities Days. We met over 12,000 students, as you have been told, the educational career guidance. Me and Dirty Dan, we involve our DJing skills. We engage these students to go over and ask questions and ask what these things are provided for them. Real quick, I want to just let you know that we had Opportunities for Entertainers nonprofit. We took this assignment about making generational change very serious. We understand that in order to achieve the objective, it takes continuous growth for us. This isn't a part-time project. This is every day, all day. That's why we, especially Dan and myself, are furthering our knowledge base in education in order to meet these objectives. Dan is completing his Mobile Leadership Class 2024. Congratulations on that, being a graduate. And I just completed my CHW Community Health Worker segment of that. Our mission is to improve the health outcomes by addressing the unique needs and challenges individuals and families face and connect them to the resources. I am also a JDO at Strickland Youth Center. So I work in the back, and everything we do is intentional. I took that job to understand the mindset, the understanding of the young people, the gun violence, and everything that goes on. That's my turn?
If they-
Trying
Can I
to
get,
move
can I get
fast,
one
so-
council member to stand here 1 minute?
One. So
One more minute.
it's very critical that I was able to get there on the ground with these young people at Strickland and find out why they keep coming back. They keep coming back. And what I've been able to do is get an insurmountable lot of knowledge that can help me, that I'm getting ready to write my own module for empowerment and gun violence, where I can train people. And that comes from just being in part of that. You have to be in there on the front line with them. So both of us have reached this pinnacle, and Nina's our staple. And this is like not part-time for us. This is every day, all day, that we deal with these young people, and hopefully that we can make generational change. And generational change not necessarily comes in bulk. It comes one individual at a time. And that's why we make sure that we're not burned out, because we know we only affect those who we come in contact with on a daily basis every day. So thank you all for that.
Thank you, man.
Any
Thank you all
questions?
so much for y'all hard work and everything. And I'm looking forward to attending, and also looking forward to give also.
Thank you.
Mr. President,
Mr. Penn.
I heard DJ Dirty Dan talking the best class ever. I just want to let him know class of 21 was the best class ever, sir.
Madam Clerk.
Angel Grimes.
Good morning. Angel Grimes. I'm here today to address my concerns about inadequate mental health care options and its effects within the education system. I'm here as an overcomer of poverty, the granddaughter of a New Orleans orphan. And I have my bachelor's and master's degree. So talking about generational, breaking those chains. I value education as it has provided me with a door out. I'm a mother of 4, and I've been an educator for 20 years, and I am the wife of an educator of 21 years. Most importantly, however, I'm here as a mother of a son that cares less about living or dying. Over the last 2 years, my son has been housed at Alta Point twice due to anger outbursts and suicidal actions. While at Bay Point, he had to seek out a worker to intervene and physically stop another child from choking himself with his jacket. My suicidal son had to stop someone else from killing himself. Let that sink in. Minors at Bay Point are not protected by enough adult supervision, despite their $11 million profit margin. In 2020, that money could have been spent more appropriately allocated by utilizing in-depth psychiatric staff training and smaller group settings to minimize violent incidents. We have, as a family, my family, relied on the available mental health facilities, police, emergency room workers, and other first responders. We are still at a loss due to a lack of continued care resources. We were not given a patient advocate to help us on our arduous journey. My son began committing this past year as he started high school, the most minor offenses possible at school in order to be sent to retract. Because in retract, he would have just one adult relaying expectations and orders within one classroom with much less transitions to have to process. My husband and I were told by the representatives from the DA's office that we were doing all that they knew to recommend. We requested them come to our house. We called the police for support in getting our son in the car. They told us that they didn't do that. My son had excessive absences this school year. We did all we knew to get him to school. As educators, we know the importance of attendance on the academic success of a child. My son has been diagnosed with anxiety, depression, oppositional defiance, ADD, and intermittent explosive disorder. My husband and I have spent our lives being law-abiding citizens, pouring into above and beyond our students, even visiting students that have tried to commit suicide and seeing charcoal pour out of their facial orifices. My husband and I take our role as parents very seriously and as educators. Just yesterday, my son, myself, and my husband received subpoenas to appear in court next month. My husband received 2 of those, one of which is charging him with a misdemeanor in my son's excessive absences. Because my son has mental health issues.
Ms. Grimes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, your 3 minutes have expired, but let
Yes,
me
sir.
ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
What you're talking about is very, very, very serious and very important to our society. What are your asks from this council?
well, I'm asking for options to sit down as I believe that people that I have conversed with that have students going through certain situations that need more additional support and options, because we are trying to produce productive citizens and steer them towards our children, towards positive citizenry and contributing to the community versus, well, now we're giving them punishments. We're leading them into the criminal scene as opposed to steering them in a direction and providing them with educational opportunities that target their specific needs and providing them with an equal opportunity to be able to receive the support they need in order to become those productive citizens.
Okay.
Because as teachers and educators during the school day, there's only so much that can be
Yes.
done.
Yes, ma'am.
You know.
Yes, ma'am. Any questions or comments from this council? I might ask Ashley, possible if we can probably get in contact with some groups like Alter Point, et cetera, and let's do like a committee meeting for probably put on public safety, and where we can ask some questions there. Any other questions that you know of that other people have, please forward it to the council before we can ask those questions.
Yes,
okay?
sir.
Mr. Davis.
Thank you for being here today. And,
Thank you.
And I appreciate your telling us your story.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's important that everyone understand, though, that the city council, the city of Mobile, the city council has no control over public health. We don't have any control over Alta Point. Under Alabama law, the state is in charge of public health. And here in the city, in the county of Mobile, particularly in Jefferson and Mobile County, the county health officer is in charge of public health, including mental health.
Mm-hmm.
Now, about a year or so, maybe a year and a half or so ago, we had a meeting, and we had the 311 board that controls Alta Point in here. And we talked to them, and I think it's absolutely clear that in the state of Alabama, there are insufficient resources being devoted to mental health services. And that's true, I think, across the state. But that's the state providing that money. And so I appreciate your coming here, but you need to understand that we don't have really anything we can do to address the issues that you're raising today. Now, you can talk to the 311 board, you can talk to the state legislative delegation, but the city council doesn't really have any ability to impact mental health in this area.
Mr. Daves is, Mr. Penn, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, thank you, Mr. President, which Councilman Dave is correct. We don't have any authority. But one thing that I do have, I have influence. And so with that influence, I'm willing to support writing letters to the people who do have the authority. Right. And so what I recommend is finding out what are the needs, because when you think about what you just shared, I'm a former educator. I think in time, you just made a very, very great point. Things have changed. Mm-hmm. Things that our youth is dealing with there. I mean, I don't feel like I'm that old, but they dealing with, I didn't have a cell phone when I was in high school that I can go and if a fight take place and they can record and they can see it right quick, you can airdrop all these different things and share stuff. They dealing with a lot of mental things that we never had to deal with. And I'm not sure if it's a plan for it. So I think it's things that we need to request, and I'm willing to write a letter requesting that information. But like Councilman Dave said, that we don't have that authority, but if we can find out who have that authority and we can send those letters, then we can support initiatives to help create change and help create a plan to move forward. Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. President.
Mr. President. Like I said, Mr. Dave is correct and everything, but if we can ask questions, and if make sure that Ashley have your information and email us and Ashley, and the question that we have, we can pose those questions and get those answers back to you.
Yes, sir. Appreciate your time.
Mr. Carroll.
Yeah, in the meantime, Mr. President, let me reiterate this again, and I think I said this 2 weeks ago when we had this conversation. The influence of the council is extremely important, and I believe in the letter writing, as we stated 2 weeks ago. A lot of people know that this council has either one or two appointments to the 310 board. We keep saying 311 because of it's been beaten to our heads with the 311 system, but to the 310 board itself. I think the question to ask is what we asked before: who has oversight of the 310 board, whether it's legislative or not? And once we find that out, we need to direct our attention in that matter as far as influence. The monies that we appropriate to Alta Point is a mandated amount based on ordinance of action that was passed years ago. I can't remember if that was 2005 or 2006. I think when I first came on to the council, there was a certain amount that we had to give to Alta Point at that time every year. I think it was $650,000 or just a little bit more. But that money actually passed through the city and went to Alta Point. So it wasn't like the city was actually giving them, money every year based on what we had to do. But again, the city's influence on the 310 board would basically be talking to our board members, as everybody else has said, but the influence is most important. But the number one question to ask at this point in time is who does have the influence and oversight of the 310 board? And I don't actually think that the members of Alta Point are looking to do harm or any unjust harm or any unintended things happen to individuals that are in their care. I think that everyone that's in healthcare, especially, those who look out after other people, do have the best interest of the people that are there and don't want to see any harm done. So, let's just not, infer that we're letting things happen or not wait, that people are letting things happen to people that are in the care of other people just because they're there. I don't think that that's the case. Lots of things happen, but we can, again, as everybody has said to this day, look into it and to write letters. And I'll be glad to take whatever questions you have, just as we stated 2 weeks ago, and let's move forward with that. But if you do have them, please send them to us quickly because I started the process 2 weeks ago. All right.
Mr. President.
Mr. Days.
As I said, at the time we had the 310 board in here. We also had representatives from the State Department of Health in here. And we were in here for 2 or 3 hours talking to them. And my conclusion after that long meeting was that it's not a question, the problem is not a question of whether Alta Point is, it's not our job to tell Alta Point how to do their job. It's not our job to tell the 310 board how to do their job. They know a lot more about managing mental health care than we do. What it boils down to is there is insufficient resources being provided for mental health in the state of Alabama. That's what the whole thing boils down to. If Alta Point had more money, they could have more people. They could be having programs like the ones you suggest. The problem boils down to there's insufficient money in the state of Alabama being devoted to mental health. And so what that means is we all need to work with our state representatives and state senators to try to increase funding for public health. Thank you, Mr. President.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our clerk.
Mike Cowart.
Hello. She's going to bring a chart up that I'm going to refer to in a minute. I appreciate you letting me speak. My name is Mike Cowart. I live in Birmingham. I'm a hotel operator, not a speaker, but I have a message to bring. I've been in the hotel business 45 years, 20 of those years as a hotel consultant doing market studies across the country. I built 3 hotels in downtown Mobile, $50 million. A lot of that was built when other people weren't taking chances in downtown. And I want to let you know I am all for Mobile. I want to see this area succeed. I'm heavily invested in it. What I tell you may not be what everybody wants to hear, but I also say that the wounds of a friend are sweeter than the kisses of an enemy.
And I think there's a lot of hope in what I'm going to tell you. My message is that the tourism industry is not doing well, and we can do better. There's great potential for leisure and convention demand in Mobile. It's never been tapped. The potential benefits to the city are sales, but lodging taxes, sales taxes, people eat in restaurants. These hotel customers are people that live outside the area and they stay here. The benefits are just immeasurable almost. The chart that I've got before you that we prepared using the trailing 12 months performance by month for the last 10 years, and we compared Mobile, Birmingham, Huntsville, and Montgomery. And you can see for years, almost all the markets performed very similar. Ups and downs a little bit from when a new supply would come in. And 2020 hit, and COVID just disrupted everything. Hotels were very hardly hit. And then at the bottom, there was we call it revenge travel. People wanted to get back out. They're tired of being cooped up. They had stimulus money. Leisure demand exploded, not just in Mobile, but in every city across the country, just for a period of a year and a half or so. And then it ended as soon as the stimulus money was over. So all of the disruption and the effort to fix the disruption behind us, and Mobile was left in the flatlined. You can see Birmingham recovered, Montgomery recovered, Huntsville recovered booming. It's dropped off lately just because there's been so many new hotels built, but that'll be recovered. But Mobile has flatlined. That's a serious problem.
One minute. Do I have a council member that would like to stand here 1 minute? Just a second. Yeah, 1 more minute.
Okay. So my solution is there's not money. Money's not going to cure this problem. We started the TID, which was not popular with hotel owners. It's less so now, and it's really not popular with guests. Spent $1 million in addition to Visit Mobile salary, and look at our results. It's a failed idea. It should not be continued. We need to re-examine the way we do tourism and the way we approach tourism, not an adjustment. We need a fundamental overhaul, and it needs to be started with accountability. Accountability for the money that has been spent and why we haven't gotten results, why we are at the bottom and flatlining, and every other major city is growing across our state. And so I'm just saying that there's a great opportunity here. It's a lot of money that is not being realized by Mobile in taxes, and we've got to.
Any questions or comments from the council?
Yes, sir, Mr. President, I have a question.
Mr. Reynolds and Mr. Penn.
Why is Mobile flatlining again? Can you explain that to me?
What?
Why is Mobile flatlining? Is it
no more people aren't visiting Mobile any more than they used to. This is the occupancy. There's hardly been any new construction in Mobile in the last few years. That what this is that the number of visitors coming into Mobile is flat. It's not increasing. We've spent the TID. We've done promotional efforts through Visit Mobile, but there's no more people coming in. It's 58% occupancy, and it's not changed in years since the stimulus money was over.
So are you suggesting that ridding ourselves of the TID would improve Mobile's position?
No, I'm saying it would have no impact on it. It's a wasted idea. It is if you could come talk to some of our desk clerks and see what customers are saying about it, the money that we've spent, and there's no change in the results.
So your suggestion to fix this flatlining is tapping convention, and can you tell me what that is?
I'm saying we need to relook at the way we approach tourism. What is bringing people here? Why we're spending the money on the things that we're spending, and not getting any results. The TID is just a waste. It's a failed idea that needs to go away. It's not doing any good. It's just aggravating customers, and it's being spent really to cannibalize other efforts of what hotels are already doing. But we need to find a way to encourage people to want to come to Mobile.
I just make sure I understand your suggestion that is aggravating customers and hotel operators. That comes as a result of an additional tax that's placed on, say, your operations or others that you would spend in a different way if you had it yourself. Is that what you're saying?
So I'm saying that the money that they are spending with this $1 tax on every room, a lot of the reasons to renew it are that they've done advertising campaigns that have brought people in. And what I can show you, I didn't prepare to describe that, but what's happening is that they are spending money on the same channels that hotels are already spending money on, and so it puts it up at higher placement, so people book through the placements that the TID has done, and so it looks like they're bringing in business. But you can see business is not increasing. Business travel, I should say revenue is not increasing. Business travel is 2/3 of Mobile. 2/3 of the people that come in here are in here for business. They have no, tourism doesn't help, or promotion doesn't help them. They're already here. They're coming for some other reason. 1/3 of the people that come into this city and spend the night are either in a convention or leisure. And I'm saying to you that the total number is flat. The business people are increasing. So it means that the leisure and the convention visitors is actually dropping. And I don't know all the reasons, but I do know that this is happening here, and we're spending more money. We throw more money at it.
All right, so let's just assume that there was not the support amongst the city council or the mayor's office or whoever to do away with the TID. But you say that there's this duplication in advertising that's happening by hoteliers and, say, Visit Mobile. So let's just make the assumption that the TID was still going to be in place. How would you suggest that that money be spent to improve your business?
It wouldn't be.
But I'm saying the assumption is that there's not the will of this council or this mayor to do away with the TID. Let's make that assumption. Now you're left with, your customers paying, the dollar tax. So you got this pile of money. How should that money be spent to improve your business?
I don't think it should be spent. I think that's not the point I'm trying to make. What I'm trying to make is, I don't know what you spend in supporting Visit Mobile operations. A lot of money. Hotels pay 14% tax. Everybody else pays 10%. So there's a lot of money going to Visit Mobile in some form or fashion. The reason you do it is to get more people to visit Mobile. And what I'm telling you is that people are not visiting Mobile any more than they used to. And even the ones that come here, it's more of the business segment, the segment that we're going after, leisure and convention. Less people are visiting Mobile than they used to. And we're spending money, and then we throw the TID tax in there. And I'm saying that was an attempt to throw some more money at trying to increase business, and that's not the problem. We don't need that. What I'm saying is, do we even need what we are spending if it's getting these kind of results? Every other city is going good except for us.
I appreciate those comments, but you're not answering the question. I understand your position is you don't want it at all. You just want it to go, the TID to be done with. I get that. That's your position. But you also say that we should reinvent or re-look at the way that we approach tourism in the city of Mobile, which, let's just say we agree, on that, as a council. How? How are you suggesting that those changes be implemented to affect your business in a positive way, or move this red line here up to around, where Huntsville is?
Well, I didn't bring in the answer to it. It's not that I know the answer to it. I just know that it's not working. And I would say the first thing is accountability. measure everything that's going on. If you're giving me however many millions of dollars and I'm not producing any results, what would you do to me? Would you ask me, what are you spending the money on? How much you getting for spending on this or that? Why is it that we're floating at the bottom if you're paying me that much money? I'm saying the TID is just a side issue. It really is. I only really bring it up because there's an effort to renew it next year or this year sometime, and it needs to be stopped while we sit here and figure out why we're running like this. You can't defend this line, this data. So why do we say y'all appoint the board of directors of the Visit Mobile? Y'all give them the money. We just collect it from our guests for you. And here's our results. So I'm saying to you, I don't know the answer, but maybe you ought to dig for it too.
But the results aren't there. That's your point.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. And I don't want this to come off as, I'm in defense one way or the other. Just trying to get to the bottom of the issue, understand your perspective, and try to, grow this line. I think there's great interest amongst everyone. I appreciate you coming down here and provoking the discussion and conversation.
Yeah, I don't mean to come down here just to point fingers or I want to say that by my action, I am interested in doing this. I'm invested in this. I want to see it succeed, and I want to help find an answer. I don't want to be on the board. I'm not asking for that kind of thing. I want us to maybe ask a lot of the hotel people how they get hotel business in, which has not been done, for one thing. It's a small kingdom. There's too many little kingdoms and power bases, and it needs to get rid of all that stuff and say, we have a problem. Let's find the answers. Mr. Penn?
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you so much for taking the time to come down here and also investing in our city of Mobile as well. I have a couple questions. The first question is, how has your hotel have been doing the last 2 years, the success of it?
Well, overall, they are up a little bit. I mean, ours are not flatlined, but it's not just about, I'm not asking for me. I'm saying if I'm in an environment and my competitors are hungry, then that's a problem for me. Ours have done well, but they're newer, and they came into an area that, has not had as much competition. But I know a lot of hotels out in the area, and you can see it because the average, if ours have done better, others have done worse.
So just make sure I just understand it. The past 2 years, your hotel been doing great.
Not great, not what we intended. As you can tell from looking at this,
it's a good profit.
When
I'm talking about your
hotels,
hotel.
they were there.
Yeah.
And you could tell that we expected to continue to grow like everybody else, and look where we are.
Yeah.
I'm saying we're doing well, but not what we should be doing or what we could be doing.
All right. So the last 2 years, you're doing well. All right. The second question, you mentioned the dollar tax. So you're stating that people are not. I'm just asking them to just get clarity. People are not coming to Mobile because of dollar?
No. I'm saying that's another impediment. If I could have brought you a folio from last night, showed you the taxes. It's city tax 8%, county tax 2%, state tax 4%, $1 tourism assessment. And people just say, what is all this? And it does come up quite a bit. People in the hotel business will tell you that adding taxes does matter. People who are outside, the consultants say, they never see it because they hide it in there. Recently, July 1st, the federal disclosure comes into play, and we're all prepared for it, where we have to show this $1 as a service charge. So if you came to my hotel and it was $200, I would say yesterday it was $200 plus taxes, which is 14% plus $1. It's just lump summed into that. Today, I have to say $200 plus a mandatory service fee of $1, so your rate is $201 plus taxes.
Okay. So, and I just want to make sure, do you think and I guess it's like a yes or no question, is do you think that's hindering people from coming $1?
I don't think anybody says, no, I'm not going to go to Mobile.
Okay. All right. That's I just wanted to
But it, you know, it's not, that's not the way you look at it. When you bring somebody in, is all the little things add up to where it's not as good as this city or this place. And, you know, it's just a poking your finger in the eye.
Yeah, I understand. It was just I was just focusing on that particular question. And then my last question is I mean, I'm just asking because Councilman Reynolds had a great point about if you had the money, how would you invest it? If we were to get rid of that, I'm not sure if you, I know you say you, in Birmingham, we have a lot of great things taking Civic Center, International Airport, cruise ship, Clotilda. So you're suggesting that we don't invest in marketing and promotion and using it because that's where a lot of those opportunities.
Not at all.
Okay, so
what I said was that $1 needs to go away. It's a wasted, failed effort. What I did say is the millions of dollars or whatever that we spend on Mobile needs to be re-examined. I know what these things are. I can tell you, I live in Birmingham, and Mobile is like a different part of the state. There's a mystique and a intrigue about Mobile that people in Mobile don't understand. And Mobile has the potential to be a dynamic tourist area if you were able to take all of these components and put them together and give people a reason to go to Mobile. When I used to travel, and the one that comes up to my mind is Santa Fe, New Mexico. I used to do a lot of consulting out there, and the president of the Convention and Visitors Bureau, as it was called, he told me that he's measured by one metric. What is hotel occupancy? If hotel occupancy is good, he gets a raise. If it doesn't, he gets chewed on. And what I would ask my wife, say, you want to go with me this trip, Santa Fe? Yeah, love to go. So you want to go with me to Memphis? Well, I got grandkids to keep. That's what they do in Mobile. There's no reason to come here, even though there's lots of reasons to come here. And we haven't packaged it because we've got this kingdom saying this and this person saying this. And the city council, I mean, the board of directors of Visit Mobile, when I was doing the Hilton Garden Inn, they asked me to come present to them. And I just said, here's what the project's going to look like. And I looked at the people on the board. I said, there's one hotel person. I know a restaurant. And I knew some of the people. I said, what are you doing on the board of directors? Well, I'm appointed by this councilman or that councilman or whatever. And I said, there's 25 people here, and maybe one of them has some, 2, 3 of them have some understanding of travel agents, travel industry. So I've never seen anything like that. It's too many. I got to control this. I got to control this. And all you're doing is taking this sum of a bunch of parts that could be a whole lot and really a magnet. I mean, Mobile's the only coastal city, if you look, Savannah, Charleston, New Orleans, that hasn't really blossomed from a tourism aspect. And it's because we are approaching it in the traditional way. You have sales for Smurf groups, which Smurf means social. It's basically the low-end groups that we bring into town. We don't bring any really big conventions. And there's some physical things we need to do, but there's just a mentality of Mobile's the way it always was. And I'm saying it's the potential there is so far greater than the people realize. And you're doing 58%. If you were doing 63% occupancy, just like it was doing back in 2015, 16, you would be talking about millions of dollars of lodging tax a year. And that's just getting it back to where it was, not getting to where it could be. So I'm absolutely not saying don't promote. I'm saying promote better because this is our results.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Mr. President.
Mr. Carroll.
Thank you. Mike, how are you?
I'm good, William. How you doing?
I'm extremely well. From most of these council members here, including Joel, maybe Gina, I still have the etching of the original etching of the Hilton Garden Inn on the wall in my office when we first even started about even considered building a hotel downtown, a new one at that. And I think at that time there was a statement made, why we're building a hotel, because I think somebody thought that we wasn't going to get anybody in it, and the hotel was built anyway, and then hotel had quite a few people in it. Is that not correct?
Mm-hmm.
So then that same guy named Mike decided to build another hotel because the other hotel had people in it, right? So Mike built another hotel. What happened? Oh, we don't have enough tourism here to support another hotel downtown. But what happened? Mike's hotel got more people in it, along with the hotel Mike already built, right? Right, Mike?
Yeah.
All right, then Mike said, let's do a third hotel, right? And Mike's third hotel got or has people in it, along with the other two hotels that Mike already has downtown. So Mike's businesses are doing extremely well with people coming to the city of Mobile and having people within them and turning over dollars and being revenue generators, not only for Mike, but also for the city of Mobile. So I think that with the vision you had, thinking that people were going to come to the city, and the willingness that you had to put not one, but 3 structures downtown, has worked out extremely well with the model that we have to make sure that you have some type of occupancy that produces and generates revenue. You mentioned the tax base or what the money is that we're spending. I think it's 12% total, something like that. 14% total, right? But if in my mind, I think that we're 3 points behind both Birmingham and Montgomery when we actually talk about our bases and what people are paying. So that's an oversight in itself to say that we're doing it wrong, but we're actually cheaper than 2 of our biggest competitors within the state of Alabama. So I think we're doing that right. The TID has just gone into its renewal process, and I think every member on that board has voted unanimously to continue the TID. And I would think that there's some extremely smart people on that board, Mike, that live in this city and around this city that actually know what's going on. And if something was wrong, they would be saying no to it. And they would be coming to us saying no to it. And they'd also be saying no to it to you. So I think that, I don't know, I've known you a really long time, and I was extremely surprised this morning when they said you were coming down here. I actually almost stopped the pre-council and say, what's the problem? Because, I mean, you've been an asset to us. But now to hear you say this makes me wonder where the mindset is, especially when you spent tens of millions downtown based on the mere fact that you have all these rooms to fill and you just spent more. And, I don't even know if you're behind the 4th hotel that's coming downtown or not. But you have another hotel that's already vetted. I think they've closed on the property and they're coming downtown, and they wouldn't be coming if the model was broken. So I think that we've done a fairly good job.
Do you think this is a model that you can defend?
I want to ask you a question. I want to ask one question. It's okay, CJ. I mean, I've known Mike a really, really long time, and as a developer, promoter, builder, the whole thing. Mike, where did you get the numbers? Are those just your hotels?
No, these are CoStar.
Those are what?
CoStar, the industry standard.
Those are industry standards based on just Mobile?
The Mobile figures are.
So just Mobile. So just
the Mobile. This is what this is.
But what from are these true through the dates that you've given me, or were they just
true?
I'm saying, are the numbers true, or were they just done with an algorithm based on projected people and actual people?
No, they're not that, William. Maybe you don't understand, but the way the hotel industry data works and the way that even the Visit Mobile subscribes to this same stuff, all of the hotel chains in the country report every day occupancy of all different segments. It goes into a central thing, used to be called Smith Travel. CoStar bought it out. These are actual numbers for these market areas. We do a lot of consulting. We have a subscription to this. We can pull it up And these are not false numbers, William.
I just
They're,
asked where
they're
you
the
got
true
them from. I didn't
numbers
say if they
through
were false or not,
exactly
Mike.
like they say.
Okay. So, but Mike, it's still yet, a businessman like yourself, you're saying that it's broken here.
Yeah.
But you have 3 businesses here that are doing well.
And as
And
Mr.
since
Penn
COVID-
asked me, how are my hotels doing? I said, they are doing well. They're doing better than average. They're not doing what we projected.
Well, Mike, I stand behind David Clark and our guys downtown. I actually like the TID. That was a great idea when it started. I think we should continue it. It continues to add a base for us to have additional revenue for and generative monies. But I'm just concerned and blown away at the position you've taken today based on everything that you've done downtown with your businesses.
This is
and all
very
that development.
consistent with what I've done downtown because it's an extension of it. Downtown was growing and it has pretty much leveled off, but the market was growing, William. Things hit and they come out of it and we are left strolling along at 58%. This is what this red line is the whole story, the whole reason I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
Is because that, and because you're saying this is good. You're all for this, and I'm telling you that this is not good, and I don't see how you can defend this.
I'm not trying to defend it. What I'm saying is that I'm just surprised at your position on this. It would take a whole lot more for me to see totally based on where we are. But Mike, there are other hotels now wanting into downtown Mobile. Downtown Mobile continues to grow, and it's going to continue to grow. There are a lot more options on our property, and if your statements out there it was failing, then these people's business models must be incorrect outside of yours.
Any more questions, Ms. Carey?
I'm finished. Mike, I appreciate it. And Mike, before you leave, let's catch up a little bit. I'd
Vice
like to know
President
more about what
Gregory.
your thinking is.
Yes, I appreciate you coming, and I really don't have any questions. So thank you for bringing this in. And one thing that it looks like to me, though, is that all of the cities, with the exception of Huntsville on your graph, are not back up to where they should have been. So Huntsville, as we all know, is the largest city in the state of Alabama. It is blowing and going everywhere. More apartments, more hotels, more homes being built every day further out of the city. So I think that's probably part of that. But I did notice that with your graph, nobody but Huntsville is actually up above where it should have been based on where we were with COVID. I've been here long enough to have been through many, many discussions about funding for the CVB, Visit Mobile, whatever the name of it has been and is currently. And we have always been behind the 8 ball when it comes to funding when you compare to other cities in the state, always. So that has been one of our issues. How do you get the word out about Mobile, visiting Mobile, conferences in Mobile, if you do not promote it, if you don't advertise, if you don't go to the conferences? So instead of the city providing more funding or asking the county to provide more funding, which then of course would take away from the other things that we also have to fund, we came up with the TID, which was something that David Clark and his folks brought to us as an idea to provide that extra funding so that we can promote. So maybe in your opinion, it's not doing what it ought to be doing. Maybe in your opinion, we need to reevaluate. I would say we always need to reevaluate. We always need to be more creative and think about how can we reach other groups? How can we bring more people in? What are we doing right? What are we doing wrong? There's nothing wrong with doing that. And I would always say, yes, always look at that. But we have to have that funding in order to let our folks who do the promotion, who do the advertising for the city Mobile and the Mobile County do their jobs. I will add one thing too that we have been dealing with for some time, and I was reminded about it just a few minutes ago, is that some of the lag in the taxes that we have in the city of Mobile can be due to the short-term rentals, because in a lot of cases, we have people who are coming and staying in these short-term rentals, and they are not paying the 14% lodging tax. So we're losing that money as well. That's a problem that we still have to deal with. But I certainly understand how you feel, and I appreciate you coming and letting us know. But as a council, you know, we have to look at a bigger picture. And what is this TID money doing? Is it going to the right publications? Is it going to the right digital platforms? Are we bringing in more people? And if so, what is it showing? And we only started that in what, I can't remember exactly, around 2020.
Early 2020.
So, you know, it takes a while to get going, but if we didn't have this money, it would fall back onto the council to start trying to fund the difference. And we cannot have a Visit Mobile, we cannot have a tourism arm if we do not fund them so that they can do their jobs. And it's always been a struggle for the city of Mobile to figure out how to fund and why we don't fund like Montgomery, like Birmingham, like Huntsville. We have always been behind the 8 ball. We still are. We still don't get the same funding. And I know other hotels and other cities have fees that they tack on to their room nights. I wish we didn't have to do that. I wish we had more money from the city and the county to put into the funding. But right now, this is the best option that we have. So again, just thank you for coming. I think we all understand where you're coming from, and we share concerns. We always want to do better. And I think that, you know, we will do better in the future.
Any other questions coming from this council?
Yes, sir, Mr. President.
Mr.
Very
Reynolds.
briefly, I don't have anything for you, Mr. Cowart, but if there is a way to improve this line, this flattening, without an additional tax, I am all for it. I want to be very clear that if we have the means to, you know, compete with Huntsville, Birmingham, Montgomery, other cities across the Gulf Coast, without having to apply a tax, I'm all in favor of that. But I haven't seen any ideas put forward at this point, so I think it may be pertinent that we, you know, sort of explore these ideas, these options as we approach the renewal of the TID, maybe in a committee or something to that effect.
Any no questions, comments from this council? All right, thank you so much, Madam Clerk.
Laurie Hunter.
Good morning, all. I am Lori Hunter. At each council member, can you hear? At each council meeting, a prayer is said. So it's my presumption that I can refer to religious doctrine here. Jesus in John 13:34 commanded his followers to love one another as he has loved them. And in Luke 6:31, we are called upon to treat others as we would like to be treated. But I don't feel the love by the city of Mobile, nor do I think any one of you would like to be treated poorly like myself and fellow residents are being treated. What's more troubling is that in January 2021, the city of Mobile was given the legal authority and oversight over Mobile Housing Authority in a recovery agreement, this one, that would stop the fatal assault of our HUD housing program rights and benefits. Paragraph 24 of the agreement states as follows: the city of Mobile, through its appointing authority, acknowledges the importance of effective governance as part of the recovery and sustainability of the Mobile Housing Board. As a signatory of this agreement, the city of Mobile commits to oversee and monitor the duly appointed Mobile Housing Board commissioners in the discharge of their duties. Upon the discovery of any failure, MHA's board to discharge its duties under this agreement, the city of Mobile will take all necessary steps allowable under authority to correct MHA board actions or omissions and ensure compliance with the terms of this agreement, signed by Mayor Sandy Stimpson on behalf of the city. So there should be no equivocation here. All means all. Yet the Mobile Housing Board has turned over the governing authority to the executive director and has made no progress in their compliance. And it's painfully evident that MHA's board and peers have over time demonstrated that they have no intention of having meaningful engagement with the residents because they haven't. It's time to step up, City of Mobile. We don't feel the love. And which one of you would like to have your rights and benefits robbed from you? It is time to do the right thing and clean up the mess that is Mobile Housing Authority. That being said, it is my desire to be the change I seek. I recommend my appointment as the next resident commissioner, for which I'm uniquely qualified. I have a background in real estate and was a former paralegal, and I am a resident currently serving as the vice president of my resident council. And what's more, I am already doing much of the job that the current missing in action resident commissioner, Tyra Fair, has neglected to be concerned with. I look forward to my appointment.
I would like for, thank you, Ms. Hunter, for coming down. Mr. Roberts, could you explain exactly what is true and what is not true about that, please? Please.
Are you referring to the recovery agreement?
The recovery agreement. Do the city have oversight over that in the sellers? Is that true?
No, what you read's correct. It's the all actions allowed under its authority is the issue, and under state law, we have no authority whatsoever.
Say that one more time.
Under state law, there's no authority whatsoever. Once the appointments are made to the board and they're confirmed by the council, the authority stops at that point.
So what was that she read that came from the?
That's a quote from the recovery agreement, but it says under the city's authority, which stops after appointment.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
So who governs the recovery? Who governs it?
HUD.
HUD does, right?
Yeah.
HUD governs it. So I think she specifically read a paragraph that states that the city had some type of oversight there. Was that a miswritten paragraph?
Within its authority under state law, which is non-existent.
Which is non-existent. All right. So
yeah, apparently, and it may just be the way HUD wrote it. Apparently, other cities have different levels of authority in different states. We have none.
No questions, Carol? Okay.
No. Last week, Michael Pierce came into this auditorium with a statement based on the entitlement committee, where he was upset based on the statement made about saying that we had an opportunity for lots of homeless people to come into empty property that was out in the Maysville, Michigan Avenue corridor, Birdsville, basically up Eagle Drive High. Those properties we all know have been on television over and over again, with the doors open and people having the opportunity to get in to get into those properties. I think there's a lot of people concerned about that, and I think that if he's made those corrections, then so be it. But I don't know if he's made those corrections or not. I did not go out there last week to actually take a look at it like I said I would, but I'll probably ride out there this week or not. But I mean, if they are managing that, the consent decree is another question. Are they managing it? Have they made progress? Are they getting to the point to where they're out from under HUD? That's the question I ask. And if you would expand on that.
That's not a question for me. That's a question for HUD.
For HUD?
Because they can adjust the schedule as they see fit.
In their last reporting, where was Mobile Housing Authority after their last reporting on their progress with the consent decree?
With
I'm pretty sure there's a reporting that everybody sees every so often, correct?
About
the progress.
Relocation?
That's right. No,
Yeah.
not the relocation. I'm talking about they're under the consent decree for so many items, correct?
The recovery agreement.
Recovery agreement, right? So how much of those items, or how many of those items have they accomplished or tried to accomplish or have been accomplished since they've started?
I'd have to go back and look. There were some easier items that were taken care of. There's been some of the moderate level items been taken care of. Some of the harder issues are still lingering.
But they have made progress, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
And on the harder items, what were they?
A lot of it was personnel related.
Personnel related? But does he not have contracting authority to change their personnel and do it under contract?
I don't know. I don't know how their structure's set up.
Those
They've
would be-
contracted some of it, but I'm not sure.
That would be questions for Ms. Pierce, but I think he can do those under contract if he so choose. I think I may not be right, but I think he can, especially with project managers, chief financial officers, and things like that, and things that help him control the system. But to say that the board members themselves are non-responsive and the city of Mobile has oversight over them, we don't have oversight of those board members after they've been appointed.
That's correct. Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Chair. Madam Clerk.
Reggie Hill.
Excuse me. Thank you, Madam Assistant City Clerk. To the citizens and stakeholders of Mobile, greetings. Reggie Hill is my name. I rise today to address more of these serious matters within the city. And I want to do so by reminding the citizens here that regardless of what the truth and the facts are, reality always trumps truth and fact. And what does that mean? It's true that we have a housing and infrastructure, particularly drainage and juvenile delinquency set of crises here within the city of Mobile. Yet the reality is we would rather focus our attention and invest our taxpayer resources into a civic center that is not necessarily a priority at the moment, firing a chief of police without due process, and awarding contracts to agencies that have not proven the track record of resolving the unique challenges that we face here in the city of Mobile. As well, where fact, the council rules permit speakers during this portion of the meeting 3 minutes, and then one individual can then grant an additional minute. Yet we saw last week with Mr. Jackson, he was interrupted, and then the bell rang, which was the first bell, and then it was 3 people that were asked to give him 20 additional seconds. So that's the reality. He didn't get his 3 minutes, and he was interrupted, and the rules were breached. So there's a stark difference between what the truth and facts are compared to what the reality is. I want to get to this idea of the performance contracts. From its inception, I warned this body that the Youth Violence Prevention Initiative was not a prudent investment of taxpayer resources and that it wouldn't last. So I wasn't surprised with this morning's announcement to halt the project. What's most alarming, though, is that our remedy for juvenile delinquency is to pay more money and to steal policing from the inside. And I don't think that that's going to be anything successful. I think we need to reevaluate these performance contracts, as we've been suggested to reevaluate other things today, once we determine how we're going to spend these resources to proactively prevent these matters that continuously cause plague within our communities. Now, there's a lot that I can jump on about this fitness for duty piece, but I'm going to save that for another time because so much was happening in the past few weeks. But I do want to highlight this matter. If you are the stewards of our commissions and boards, which I thought we had a committee or something put together about spending money on this as well, and we know that they operate under a certain set of guidelines, and then we allow the city to then apply for these guidelines, which are out of compliance, and then we're spending upwards of hundreds of millions of dollars. That's the question. It's not of your mental stability. It's about your ability to enact your responsibility as an elected official. That's what the question of this is. So I think we need to remove the personal vendettas about this and look at the business of it. The law was breached in even applying for a certificate of appropriateness. And now we've had to walk that back. That does a lot to our city. And so these are things we're going to continue, but that's what I want to make sure is clear about the fitness, not you personally, but how we conduct the business. Thank you for you on the floor.
Ashley Harrison. Timothy Hollis.
Timothy Hollis. It's very unfortunate that our mayor just left right before. He's probably tired from that long rebuttal session that y'all had. I signed up to speak about 2 things today, Michael Figgis Park and Sister Cities. I'll start with Michael Figgis Park. I've asked this question in silence to a certain individuals It's not a city council problem. It's actually an administrative problem because the mayor is responsible for parks, as we all know. Back in 98, 99 maybe, Figures Park was reconstructed from Gargis to Figures. Same time Carver was named Aaron. At that same time, Aaron received their granite statue of Hank Aaron hitting his historic home run. Also, Figures Park would receive something as well of the liking. It would be a sign that stood about 15 feet in the air named Satchel Paige Field. Now, most kids in my era back then, I'm 35, 98, there was no cell phones. There was no smartphones with internet. We couldn't just look up who Satchel Paige was. Not everybody went to the library, but I did. I went to the library, looked on the encyclopedia to see who Satchel Paige was, found out he was this historic guy, national figure, Major League Baseball, inspiring to a youth that played sports in that park back then. All I want is the kids of the community that live there to have that same, energy and spark to know that their community actually means something and that it's just not a place that no one cares about. Secondly, I'd like to speak on sister cities. It's a little touchy because I've seen things go down in this exact same room. When some young protesters came here from South Alabama to speak about sister cities, and they were removed from this meeting with no warnings, just told to leave, just told to cut off. But they were actually speaking about City of Mobile business. Because if you go to alabamastudy.us, it shows you every sister city to every city in the state. When you look up Mobile, the city that they were speaking on, which is Ariel, which is a settlement, an Israeli settlement in Palestinian land, they had every right to come here and speak about that. I don't know how you go about fixing that, repairing that, apologizing, or anything in that nature, but it's best that you do something in that line because they were right and they had rights to be here. And I'll continue this conversation about Ariel, our sister city, at a later date. Thank you.
Jimmy Todd.
Mr. President.
Mr. Penn.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. Hollis, for coming down and sharing out. I would like to get more information about the Satchel Paige, the 15. I know that happened before I became on the council. I want to make sure I get with the administration. We are working on some major projects regarding Figures Park. Matter of fact, just received a great announcement. We're going to have a meeting in July with some more money. We just received a major grant to also work towards Figures Park, which we already started doing some projects. So I will look into that. I think it would be an amazing idea to celebrate something that I've been pushing for in the Thomasville community, the legacy. I think that it's a legacy community. When you look at Hank Aaron home is right there. You have the field, Satchel Paige, John L. LaFleur, the Fortune Trail. It's just amazing legacy. So I definitely will look in that. So thank you so much for coming down and expressing that. I did see now the questions that you did have for the agenda. I got the information for the city of Mobile hasn't sent any money to the sister city. I know that was one of the questions you sit in. So I asked that in pre-council today. All right.
Good morning. My name is Jimmy Todd. I'm here today to talk about the Black program a little bit. All right. Can you hear me? All right. So what? Me and my wife have a home down in District 2 over on Elmira Street, and we restoring the home. I waited till I retired because of the Black program. They came in. I think it was the environmental department. They came in and fined us for. They wanted demolition. They wanted to demo the place, but it's a historical place. So I worked with John Sledge a little bit over in the historical office, and I was able to hold the city off of me until I retired, which was January. 30 years in the refuge business, and after I retired, I took my retirement and started bringing the house back. So with that said, I took and applied for the grant through the Blight program. So I'm running into barriers. I don't know whether it's the education part of it or whatever. I'm always getting blocked, whatever the case is. I think I'm really close because I follow all the protocols, everything I was asked to do. And for some reason, I'm still being denied on it. So I'm here today trying to see, can I get some help, some direction, which way to go?
Yeah, Mr. President, that's the house on Elmira between Broad and Marine Street, the White House shotgun.
Yes,
That's
yes,
like
it's the only one on that
yeah,
street,
like
historical home.
1840, 1870, 1880, something like that.
Yeah.
That's being redone right now.
Yep, it's about 70% complete.
Yeah, that house would have or should have qualified for the city's blight program.
It was on the Black program list.
It was the guy that runs that program sitting right up there. His name's Jamie Roberts. I think there are other people in the city that have been trying to apply to the blight program too. Don't know what roadblocks or not they've been hit with, but can you tell me, do you know what stopped you, your application? Do you know what held you up?
Not exactly. I was dealing with a young lady named Miss Davis on the phone.
Carla Davis?
Yeah, Carla Davis.
Okay.
And
So,
I get the impression that she wasn't clear on everything as well.
Did they send you anything in writing?
No.
They haven't sent you anything in writing?
No, sir.
But you were on the program?
Yes.
And
I was on the list.
And you qualified for the money for the blight program?
From what I was told.
Okay. Jamie, I have to address it through the administration, but they're not here. There's a guy walking down these steps right now. I want you to get with him
Okay.
before you go and figure out what needs to be done so that you can figure this out.
Okay.
All right? Wait a minute, Jamie.
Not so much his case, just in general for that program, just so everybody knows. That program is only available for properties that have been deemed blighted through David Dockabaugh's group. But the secondary issue we end up having a lot of times with applicants is they have to stop work so we can do an environmental review. If they do work while an environmental review is going on, we can't touch it with federal funds. Not sure if that's what happened here or not.
Yes.
We can look at the application, but that's in general across the board for all the programs.
Yes, I was told to pause until it was checked. So that hadn't been.
Well, Jamie, that house, you talk about blight, that house was truly blighted. It was basically leaning over on the ground. And it's a definite qualifier, but it's also a qualifier for historic preservation and renovation. I'm pretty sure when they finish it, if done right, it's going to be shieldable.
Right, but if they started construction and they don't stop when they turn the application in, we can't touch it because the environmental review can't be done.
When did you turn your application in?
It's been just about 90 days, but I was told by the department to pause my work so it could be evaluated.
Right, so we'll take a look at his application, but I'll just let you know in general, if somebody applies and continues work, then it's no longer eligible.
Say it again.
Somebody applies for the program and then continues to work on it while we're processing the application is no longer eligible because it failed an environmental review at that point.
So if they fix it up beyond the point to where if they fix it up to where it's no longer considered extremely blighted, do they not qualify?
That's not what I'm saying. If it's on the blight list, the blight survey, it's eligible.
Okay.
If they start construction before they apply to us and then continue through the application process, it's no longer eligible because they have to stop work so an environmental review can be done.
Okay.
That's just a federal process.
Okay.
We don't have any control over it.
Okay. Yeah. Y'all make sure y'all get that.
Clerk?
Ordinances held over. 64040, rezone property located at 3300 Knollwood Drive and 3401 and 3421 Medical Park Drive from R1, B1, and B2 to B2.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Properly moving second and in discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
No.
Passed 6-1. Madam Clerk?
CIP resolutions held over. 21541, authorized contract with Mobile Asphalt Company for 2024 CIP resurfacing districts 1, 2, 3, and 5. 21550, authorized contract with Southern Earth Sciences for 2024 CIP resurfacing districts 1, 2, 3, and 5.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moving second in discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Item passes.
Consent resolutions held over 4438 and 4439 declare the structures at 601 Tata Street and 550 William Street public nuisances and order them demolished.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moving second in discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Item passes.
Resolutions held over 01542 authorize agreement with the Alabama Department of Conservation and Natural Resources for amendment to the Go Mesa grant agreement for Shipyard Road. 08543 approved purchase order to Gray Bar Electric Company for aluminum light poles with arms. 08544 approved purchase order to Intergraph Corporation for installation and maintenance for interface software. 08545 approved purchase order to Shaw Contract Flooring Services for the cruise terminal. 08546 approved purchase order to UKG Chronos Systems for annual renewal of software. 21547 authorized contract with Gorham Air Conditioning for HVAC replacement at Spring Hill Rec Center. 21548 authorized contract with Robert J. Baggett for construction of mooring pile for cruise terminal. 21549 authorized contract with S&O Enterprises for fire and security alarm service and monitoring at various city locations.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moving second in discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Item passes.
Ordinances being introduced 39041.
Per council rules, this will lay over for 1 week.
Consent resolutions being introduced 09555 through 6562.
Move to waive the rules for immediate consideration of these resolutions as read.
Second.
And properly moving second in discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Rules waived. Madam Clerk.
I'm going to call 4558 out separately. 09555, transfer funds from District 2 discretionary account to Parks and Rec general fund account to assist with additional fees for the harvest giveaway. 09556, transfer funds from District 2 discretionary account to Parks and Rec general fund to assist with fees for the Robinson family event. 37557, recommend approval to the ABC Board for issuance of a restaurant retail liquor license to PLT Food Hall. 559 and 560 are declaring the structures at 1253 Seneca Street and 4850 Dan Williams Road public nuisances and ordering them demolished. 58561, assess cost for removal of weeds, Weedling Group 1654. 6562, determine an appropriation to Mobile Symphonic Pops Band serves a public purpose and approve payment.
So moved.
Second.
And properly moving second in discussion.
Yes, sir, Mr. President.
Vice President.
On 6562, the appropriation to the Mobile Symphonic Pops, this will be the first time in over a decade that the Pops has been able to play out at Langen Park. And the reason is because we have restored and renovated the old amphitheater out there and built new restrooms. And so it is ready to go. And I look forward to having the Pops back in Langen Park.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Item pass.
48558, declare the structure at 112 Bush Avenue a public nuisance and order it demolished.
Move delay over 60 days.
Second.
Properly moving second in discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Item laid over for 60 days.
Resolutions being introduced 01563 through 01572.
Move to waive the rules for immediate consideration of 01-572, with the rest of these being laid over for 1 week.
Second.
Properly moving second in discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Rules waived. Madam Clerk.
01572, authorize agreement to accept funding assistance for the HVIP project.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moving second in discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Item pass.
Announcements.
District 1, Councilman Penn.
Thank you, Mr. President. Earlier today in pre-council, I kind of just talked about how this past week we celebrated Juneteenth. I heard a lot of great feedback from the event here in the city of Mobile. I also had the opportunity to attend the event in the city of Pritchard and throughout our communities. You saw activities taking place throughout the state of Alabama with the Negro League in Birmingham, as well as this past week, I had an opportunity to watch the Cotilda on Disney documentary. There's a lot of things that are taking place in our city and state as well to celebrate this history here in our town, and hopefully we can move forward. But one of the things that I shared in pre-council is some of my concerns. You know, Reggie Jackson, who spoke about his experiences coming back to Alabama. And if you had an opportunity to watch the Cotilda, it was a lot of challenges that they faced during that time. But the sad thing is a lot of times we're still seeing similar challenges. I always tell people, like, it's great that we see people, our leaders, celebrating Juneteenth, but we need more than just celebration. We need activities. We need change in our communities. We need change in our city as well. And I have the opportunity to drive around in our different neighborhoods. And I ask you to do the same thing. Drive in different communities and see how certain business has the same name. And if you go to other communities, it look totally different. Look at the gas prices in certain communities and go to other communities and see the difference. If we truly want to celebrate Juneteenth, let's move all our communities forward. Thank you, Mr. President.
District 2, Councilman Carroll.
Mr. President, I'd like to just take a moment and offer condolences to the Bell family on the passing of Donald Sugarman Bell. Sugarman's daughter, Anitra, actually used to be on the executive staff of the mayor of the city. But Sugarman was extremely entrenched into our community in so many different ways, from the housing board to the Boys and Girls Club to refereeing basketball to community outreach. He was truly an activist in his time, and as we all moved through the city growing up, he was a truly innovator in what he was doing and the things that he did. So my condolences to the Bell family, to all the friends and everybody that was associated and had a chance to be affiliated with Donald Sugarman Bell.
District 4, Councilman Reynolds. District 5, Councilman Days. District 6, Councilman Woods. District 7, Vice President Gregory.
Yes, sir, Mr. President. Yesterday, I joined a group of business women for the Women's Forum. We were with the Distinguished Young Women. It is a roundtable event for these young ladies who come in to talk about career paths and ask questions of the various women who were there about how they went about college and getting their first jobs and their career path and how they got to where they were today. They had various areas of interest, and so I was there in the public policy and governmental section, and it was just a great opportunity to speak with and meet these young ladies. And speaking of the Distinguished Young Women, tomorrow night is the community night for the Distinguished Young Women. They will be over at the Civic Center, and then starting at 5:45, they will actually parade to the Civic Center in a Mardi Gras style parade from Mardi Gras Park over to the Civic Center. So if you would like to watch this parade, you need to go over to Mardi Gras Park, be there at 5:45, and then you can go over to the Civic Center for the community night. You get to meet the young ladies. It's a great event for all the kids and families to be there. And then, of course, the preliminaries begin with the finals being on Saturday night at 7 o'clock at the Civic Center. And I look forward to being able to present the first runner-up award this year. That's all.
All right. And greetings to the citizens of District 3. On this past Sunday, I had an opportunity to attend Fulton Road Baptist Church on the Parkway, the Dolphinado Parkway Ministerial Alliance had their annual patriotic services, the past service on this past Sunday. Like to thank all the residents that came out on this past Sunday to support that particular patriotic program. Again, it was the annual patriotic program, very well attended and a very nice service. Also, this afternoon, Council, we do have a meeting with the Mobile Area Council of Boy Scouts of America at 1:00 p.m. in our conference room. And also we'll go ahead and announce the committee as a whole meeting on July the 23rd, which is a Tuesday. We will be looking at the reports from the investigation of the allegations of former Chief Bryan. Again, that will be at 1:00 on July the 23rd, which is a Tuesday, and it will be a committee as a whole meeting. Anything else from the administration?
Motion to adjourn.
Probably moving second in discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?